Hello peeps, Drugget here, and today I'm going to show you how to start a city in Cities Skylines in whatever year. Regarding all the other videos on this topic, I'm now supposed to tell you that you should start with probably a roundabout and then you have to go like exactly 22 units out in one direction and so on and then I have to pick a fancy name for that. I call this the Super Lemon Grenade. Of course, after you have watched the video, you are highly motivated to start a new city and then you try to apply that on the map of your choosing and then stuff like this happens. So if you came here to see the latest fashion of Cities Skylines city starting, wrong video. But if you came here to actually learn how to have a perfect start, then let's dive right into it. First thing you notice, your game might look different. That's because of mods, but I'll just use them for better visuals. The first thing you want to do is pause the game, because everything we do requires some upkeep and we don't want to lose money on that until we are actually really want to start the game. Next on our list is creating a connection to our highways. Sure, a fancy roundabout would look cool, but we are trying to build a city on a budget here, so we better just build what we actually really need. Make sure the road guidelines are activated and then we just build a simple triangle. Don't worry about it, for the start it will totally get a job done. Actually, this is a pretty good connection because we don't have any sharp turns here, so the vehicles can go through it without having to slow down. Then we want to look at our starting tile just to make out some point of interest for us. For example, we have some farming land here. We could do forestry pretty much everywhere on our starting tile. Now, before we can make people move into our city, we need to cover their basic needs, being electricity and water sewage. So let's check electricity first. We have two options here, either a wind turbine or a coal power plant. Coal power plant is a big cost up front, 19k, and then an upkeep of 560 every 3 minutes. The wind turbine, of course, is a lot cheaper, but also just provides up to 8 megawatts instead of 40 megawatts compared to the coal power plant. But the upkeep cost is way lower, like just 80 every 3 minutes. In such cases, I would suggest you always try to keep an eye on the upkeep cost, because upkeep is going to accumulate over time. So you want to go really cheap and try to provide all the services with the least amount of expenses possible. Also, 8 megawatts are quite decent for a small sized city. We can go quite a while with those. Now, let's check where could we place those wind turbines. Pretty much to get the 8 megawatts, we have to place them on the dark areas. See? So either over there or up there or along this shore thing here. So how about we do not decide yet, but we first look at what water is going to be like. As it looks like, we have two options here. Let's quickly check the stream. Water is going from up there down to there, so we could do some pumping and draining on this map. There will be maps where you are not right next to a river, so you have to rely on water towers to start. We have the option to pump and drain here, so we could include a water pumping station and a water drain pipe. The water drain pipe you need no matter what, but comparing the water pumping station to the water tower, I think it's a no-brainer to use a water pumping station. Now, regarding flow of the water, you always want to place your water drain pipe downstream to where you're doing your pumping, because otherwise you would pump the polluted water back into your water system and thus making your citizens sick. Water drain pipe, perfect location down here. Now, since we have the perfect location for one thing, now we could possibly find even another perfect location, being the placement of our first wind turbine. How about there-ish? See, got connected pretty well. I just placed it a bit upstream to use the radius of the wind turbine. So how about we do our draining up there? No, pumping, sorry. And then we just make a connection. And now we still need to get our power up to this water pumping station, like such. Next on the list is building some roads. Of course, we are going to use the cheapest because we are still building a city on a budget. For now, I just decided to put the industry left on our map next to the loud wind turbine because residentials don't like noise. So we put the residentials on the right, industry on the left, commercials in the center. Don't worry about it, we are going to tear it down anyway, sometime in the future. We are using this zoning pattern because buildings have a radius around them where they spread electricity, and using this pattern we can basically make the electricity go from the left to the entire right of our road, so thus we can save on building power wires and we don't have to pay for them. As we've made sure that our citizens have access to water, it is now time to start the simulation and let it run for a while. Regarding the placement of water pipes, they are delivering water in a radius, so what we want to do to save the most money, we want to place them parallel to each other at the maximum distance to still cover all the ground in between, because that's the most effective way to do it. Our next goal is to reach our first milestone. That's why I'm putting down more roads and keep zoning a bit more residential area. As we can see in the RCI, we have a higher demand for industry than commercials, so I considered here to rezone one commercial zone to an industry zone. Now our residential area is really complaining about the lack of power. Activating the overlay, we can see that power does not spread over there entirely. So let us bridge the gap with a little cable. We have no demand for more commercials, so I erased that zone. As all our citizens' needs are covered, let's do something a bit more fun. How about we rename our city? You can rename everything in Cities Skylines. Streets, buildings, citizens, and the city itself. Just click on the top, enter the new name, press enter, and you're done. Oh look, even this small village is able to create a financial income. Let us pause and optimize that. We are just using a quarter of the electricity we generate and just a fraction of the water the waterworks provides us. So let's hop over into the budgets and reduce the spendings on those services. To see the effect, we of course need to bring up the info panel and then restart the simulation. Yep, we just tripled our income. As you can see, this caused a little hiccup, but that is solving itself instantly again. So how about we just go back to normal speed, because we have no pressure to do anything right now at all. This is probably the biggest mistake newcomers of the game do. They try to rush things, but Cities Skylines is not meant to be played in a hurry. Now as everything's taken care of and we are making an income, we could use the time to look around, see how everybody's doing, and that's it. Maybe wait for some flashy icons to pop up and then react to those. Admittedly, there is not much to see yet. So how about we plan for the future? Let's check the milestones. We are not even halfway there, and that's going to come up. So we are getting medical clinic, landfill, basically garbage, healthcare and education. And we could take a new loan, and then we also could adjust taxes. Question is how to get there. Now we have, a medium demand for residentials and a medium demand for industry or offices. We don't have offices yet. How about we are trying to save even more money by replacing those power lines with our little road trick. Ooh, that could hurt. Let's first zone. How about, let's delete that because we are not going to need it anymore. Oh, yeah, we would have. Not anymore. Okay, let's delete another one. And then let's do something like that. And now everything should be fine again. Now you'll just see me applying the stuff we learned today even further, expanding the industry, replacing power wires, saving us even more money. But what I wanted to point out now is that even though I have access to all the downloadable content and mods and assets, I would like to keep the series very base game focused, because not everybody has access to all those options. Another little trick here, remove zoning if you want them to build somewhere else. In this case, to bridge this power gap. So yeah, this series base game focused, but I am occasionally pointing out if a certain DLC would really help us out in a certain situation way more effectively, just because they really add to the game. I'll also do separate videos on all the content creator packs, DLCs, eventually some mods regarding what they are bringing to the game. So stay tuned for those. While expanding the residential area now, I would like to point out that T-junctions congest way less than four-way intersections. Now, there are people out there advocating a more realistic approach to the game, like building with the landscape and such, but as a min-maxer and game mechanics guy, I see my mission more in giving you very solid foundations on how the game actually operates. Anyway, always feel free to leave your questions in the comments and I'll try to answer them as quickly as I can. So we are approaching our first milestone with about 40,000 simoleons in our bank account, so I think it is time to cut it here and we see each other in the next episode. Thanks for watching, please leave a like if you liked it. Bye guys.